You ever asked yourself, what does healing actually mean? Not the social media version, not the polished, just meditate and journal kind of healing, but the real, messy, deep version? For me, healing wasn't pretty. It wasn't linear, and it sure as hell didn't look like anyone else's definition. The truth is, healing is personal, and it looks different for everyone. And until you figure out what it means for you, you'll always feel like you're failing someone else's version of it. Hey, it's Aubrey, and today I want to share what healing meant for me, what it felt like before, some of the things that shifted, and how I redefined it on my own terms. Not because I want you to copy my path, but because I want you to know it's okay for yours to look completely different. Before my healing journey started, life felt like waking up every day already under attack. The moment my eyes opened in the morning, anxiety was there, depression was there, suicidal ideation was there. It felt like a weight on my chest, whispering, "Something's wrong," or "Something's going to go wrong." I tried to force myself to think positive, but my mind was always preparing for disaster. Every conversation, every decision, every moment of my day was filled with what ifs. And underneath it all was chaos. Obsessive thoughts running on loop, fear shutting me down before I could even try. My voice locked in my throat because I was terrified of saying the wrong thing, of sounding stupid, or of being seen. And it wasn't just mental, it was physical. My body was always tense, my stomach in knots, my heart racing. Even rest didn't feel like rest, because in my mind, rest meant failure, laziness, worthlessness. Life didn't feel like living. It felt like surviving. Healing didn't arrive like a lightning bolt. It was slow, brutal at times, but it started with one thing: awareness. I had to start noticing the patterns that were keeping me stuck. The way I tied my worth to productivity. The way I silenced myself out of fear of judgment. The way I thought every thought in my head was truth instead of just noise. I had to rewire my brain, piece by piece, to learn that rest wasn't lazy, it was survival. To learn that my worth wasn't negotiable. It didn't rise and fall depending on how much I did or how well I performed. To learn that the only opinion of me that mattered was my own. To learn that I didn't need to be a victim to my mindset and that I could change the narrative. And to learn that my emotions and my thoughts were not enemies, but messengers. And slowly, little cracks of light began to show through the darkness. When I started my healing journey, the first thing I noticed was silence. Not the heavy silence of dread, but quiet. My mind wasn't screaming at me 24/7. I could sit with myself and not want to run away. I became friends with my ego instead of fighting it. And I started to rewrite the story in my head. Validation stopped coming from other people, and it started coming from me. I stopped asking, "Am I enough?" and started saying, "I am enough, even here, even now." Healing looked like laughing again, finding small moments of happiness. The kind that fills your chest instead of feeling like a mask. It looked like posting on social media, even though I was terrified. It looked like creating a blog, recording this podcast, and saying out loud, "I exist. I matter. and I have something to say. It looked like being able to understand my brain, understand that I could change anything about it that I didn't like, that I didn't have to live up to anyone else's standards, that I just needed to live for me. It looked like being brave enough to be seen after a lifetime of hiding. But here's the truth. My definition of healing won't be yours. Healing is not one size fits all. And that's the first step, is defining it for yourself. So I want you to pause and ask, what would healing look like in my daily life? If I woke up healed tomorrow, what would change first? What would I feel safe doing that I don't feel safe doing now? You don't have to know how to get there yet. You just have to know where you're headed. That's where your definition lives. Not in someone else's version, not even in mine, but in the life you're craving beneath all the noise. Healing isn't about fixing yourself, because you were never broken. Healing is about finding your way back to yourself. And that's what it meant for me. No longer letting fear run the show, no longer hiding from my own voice, and no longer waiting for permission to exist. Thank you for sitting with me in this conversation, and I'd love to hear, what does healing mean for you? Share it with me, write it down, or whisper it to yourself tonight before you fall asleep. And remember, your healing is valid. Your healing is unique, and only you get to define what it looks like.